Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to Real Talk. I'm your host Pat Terrio, and we're out in the community highlighting certain professions, and today it just so happens to be Lawrence County 911. And who do we have here as our guest starting out? Candace Librand. She is the 911 training coordinator. How are you, Candace?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. We're excited to be here today. We're glad you all allowed us to come in. We want to really talk about what your job entails, and of course the 911 dispatchers and how important their job is here for the community. So we'll start off with you. Share a little bit about you.
All right. I'm Candace Librand. I've been here 7.5 years now. I've been a dispatcher most of the time. I've just recently became the training coordinator. Right now I'm working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I have a 3-year-old and I'm married. In my spare time, I like to hunt and fish. I don't know.
How cool is that? You got a little 3-year-old and you hunt and fish in your spare time.
That's right.
Very good, very good. Now tell us about your position that you've transitioned to as the training coordinator here.
Okay. Well, right now we're waiting to get a lady in so she can start training with me. Until then, I'm just updating more policies and getting training manuals together. So when she gets in here and starts, then what we're going to do is I'm going to start her in the radio room, and I'm going to explain to her we have a training manual that they get, and then the training manual goes over every radio, every function of how to do everything here. As a dispatcher. And we're quite sure you have to definitely know how to multitask. That's right. That is big thing. Being a dispatcher is multitasking. And what are some of the key things that you all look for in having someone work here? Typing. Yes. Typing is a biggie. You have to have speed because we're multitasking, so we're having to hurry up and get some stuff done, and speed is very of the essence here. Now, so if someone types, that's probably not a good dispatching material person. Well, most likely no. Yeah. But we do have one who started out as a PEC typer, and he's really good now. Very good. And so how many employees do you have here? We have about 18 right now. About 18. And, this is such a serious job. We really want the public to really understand how important your job is here. And as far as the training, how tedious is the process for someone to get hired and to get the full training that they need in order to begin working? Everybody trains different. That's one thing I've learned. Even before I was a training coordinator, I've done a lot of the training. I've helped with it. And everyone's, like I said, they train different. You could train. I trained when I first started working. Within 2 weeks, I was let go by myself. It didn't take me but about 2 weeks to get fully released. Most people, though, that would take about up to 2 to 3 months. It's just a lot, and the more we go, we're adding stuff constantly. So the 911 call volume is increasing, so we're going to hire more people. And so with these 18 employees, and they're on long shifts. Yes, they work 12-hour shifts. And right now we are short-handed. We have some positions available that are open, and a lot of the dispatchers are working overtime. So they're actually working. They have the 12 hours, which is 12 hours is tiring, and then you're working overtime too. Sitting in that area, that space with everything going on. We definitely want to take a look back there and kind of meet some of these dispatchers as well. And so we thank you for everything that you're doing, and we want to definitely meet some of the other workers here and just to talk to them about how their journey has been. Okay, and give me some scenarios when we get back there so that I can see if I'm dispatcher material. Okay. All right, thank you, Candace. You're welcome. All right, now we got the administrative assistant here herself, Joy Pope. Hi, Joy.
Hey, how are you?
Doing very well. So you're handling all the admin stuff. Talk to us a little bit about you, and then let's go through what you do here at 911.
Joy Pope. I've been with Lawrence County 911 since 2003, so 11 years. I'm married. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I'm actually married to a man who just opened up a business here, Trent's Pro Marine, up on 441 North. So, and I'm a runner. I like to run. I like to do marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks.
How cool is that?
Actually run with a coworker that previously worked here, so a friend that I made while I was here in the 911 center.
Very good. So running is kind of like a stress reliever for you?
Yes, it can be. Absolutely. Yes.
That and having a 7-year-old?
Yes.
All right. Now talk to us about your administrative duties here.
Okay. Actually, when I started out, I was just a line level dispatcher. And in 2010, I come up to the administrative assistant position. So I do scheduling, payroll. I do actually the county street addressing as well. So if somebody is going to be building in the county and they need a address, then I'm the one that goes out and does the measurements and assigns the addresses now.
Oh, wow.
And then I keep up with a master addressing database system. So whenever we get new addresses in the county, I put them into a master database system so it can be recognized and geocoded within Lawrence County.
Labor intensive?
It can be. Maintaining roads and maintaining street addresses, so it can be.
Absolutely. So when you get a call in, you've got to have the correct information.
Yes, with the addresses, what it does is whenever I address a new property here, we dump it into a database system, to a main database system. So if you have Charter Communication or AT&T, when your phone rings in, it would come into our public safety answering point, and then it would carry over into our computer-aided dispatch.
What about some of the rural areas? Way out. How do you
address them? Basically, they would call in to the office and tell me where their property is, and out into the rural part of the county, I would just go out there, and we have a database system, like I said, that has the addresses in it and a numerical range that you can go in and do measurements from, and from there we do our measurements, and it's on ascending and descending order, even sides, odd sides, and we assign the address.
Very good. Now, how was your transition starting off as a dispatcher and then
coming into a supervisory and administrative? It was a little different. Doing administrative work versus doing radio work is a lot different. Decision making in the radio room has to be point on and fast, because we have to take this information, we have to interpret it, and then we have to give it back out to the public safety that are responding, whether it's an ambulance driver, a police officer, or a deputy. And then it could be Department of Natural Resources, it could be animal control, any of them. So as a dispatcher, our responsibility is answer a 911 line, handle a caller, take that information, receive it, interpret it, and give it back out to public safety. And as Candace was talking about earlier, on a hiring process, we do things that now, when we hire in new hires, we set them up on what's called a critical test. And basically what we do when we do new hires is we want to see how well they multitask. Can they type? Can they prioritize? If we give them a scenario that says we have a house fire, are they going to pick a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police officer to respond first? We want to know how they're going to prioritize and set those codes up. And then we want to know, can they listen? Can they listen to a caller? Can they interpret what they're saying and then give that information back out? So when we do a critical test, we want to check reading comprehension. Can you read and comprehend? Can you listen and interpret? Can you type? Can you remember things that are coming into you? Because if you have a frantic caller on the phone and they're upset, just for a scenario, you have a mother who's calling and her child is choking and turning blue. You're not going to have a mother on the phone calm talking like I am. Her voice may be rising, falling, she may be crying, it may be hard. And as an operator, we have to listen, gather that information, and then assess how the situation is listening. And then we're relying on the public to tell us information so we can be the eyes to let public safety know what's going on and what they're responding to.
Absolutely. And I know you wanted to give a message to the public to make sure that they understood how important it is.
Yes. I would like for the public to realize that we are your first on scene. So when you call us, we rely on you to give us the information. They're going to be our eyes. And then we're going to give this to the public safety officers that are responding. So we want them to realize that just because we're talking to them and asking them questions doesn't mean that we don't already have somebody on the way. Because we sit in there 4 to a shift and we're a team. So when we're gathering information, somebody else is giving that information out. And we would like for our officers, any responding officer, to go to us. We would like to know that it's going to be a safe environment, and if it's not, we want to know what they're going to be up against.
Absolutely.
We want to know that we can tell them things that are going on, so whenever they enter a situation, they can be as safe as they possibly can be.
Absolutely. So the more information that you're asking and require,
yes,
it's for the safety.
It's for the safety of the public, and it's for the safety of our public responders.
Absolutely.
So information is very vital. That's what we rely on. That's how we're giving the information to our public safety officers responding.
Absolutely.
It's easier than ever and more affordable to get around town with EGB Transportation. With their $5 local rate share ride, Joshua Roach and his team of drivers can take you where you need to go. Whether it's shopping, running errands, visiting friends, EGB Transportation can take you there safely in their well-maintained and clean vehicles. EGB Transportation offers private taxi rides and private charters, and airport services are available for an extra cost. EGB Transportation offers a flat rate for all its transportation services. With EGB Transportation, you'll know the cost before you ride. EGB Transportation also offers school and daycare services. They'll pick up and drop off your children at home, school, daycare, or any location you choose. All of their staff is fingerprinted, background checked, and is drug and alcohol tested. All vehicles are checked for sleeping kids. Call EGB Transportation at 478-304-1827 or 347-279-4997. EGB Transportation.
Lawrence County 911, do you have an emergency?
And we're back here where the magic happens, and we've got Becca Cox, one of the dispatchers here. And this is your area, right?
For the day it is. Yes.
For the day it is. All right, Becca, we're pleased to be back here and to meet you. You've been doing this for quite some time.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, okay?
Well, my home life, I'm a single mom. I would not be able to do this job if it wasn't for my mom. She takes care of my two kids.
How old are your kids?
11 and 9.
Very nice.
They're at that age where I need to call 911 sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I enjoy what I do for the most part. Sometimes people are a little testing whenever they don't understand why we're asking the questions. But for the most part, the job's very rewarding in itself.
Absolutely. Now, you say when some of them are kind of testing. What do you mean by that?
Like mostly domestics or assaults or something. They just want the officers then. They don't understand that as soon as they call and we get a location, we're sending people out. Especially once we find out what's going on. But they just want the officer and they don't want to answer our questions. And we're asking those questions to find out how many officers we need to send, if we need to send EMS, or what exactly is going on to make sure our officers are going to be safe.
Absolutely. And Joy pointed that out earlier, how important there's so many things that you need to know, and that you're constantly working and constantly multitasking.
Right.
Now, so have you already were you already a good multitasker before you took on being a dispatcher?
I think you kind of have to be in order to do the job.
Yeah, and so this is a space that you're working today.
Right.
Oh my goodness. That's like 5 screens.
Right. We stare at them all day long.
All day long. So what do you do to kind of ease the monotony of being on the job for 12 hours?
Well, we're all really close, and we're like a family in here as it is. So we tell jokes, cut up. Sometimes we can watch TV.
I was told that you were pretty much you were a comedian of sorts. You were pretty much a character.
Yes, but I'm not supposed to be telling jokes.
Can't tell jokes, not on camera. But I don't
like to be serious. It's boring.
Well, because your job is so serious,
right?
And it's
if you let it get to you, then it will get to you. You've got to be able to separate yourself from the calls.
And how do you do that? How do you do that? Because a lot of times when you say you have to separate yourself from the job work that you do, a lot of people.
You have to keep in mind that you're their help. You are their first responder, and you're their only outside. So if you get emotional, like if somebody calls, I had a woman call, and her son was in the bedroom, and while we were on the phone, he actually shot himself. So I had to be there to help her. I couldn't get emotional with her. You see what I'm saying?
I do. We do see that. It's like, and that's not easy for a lot of people.
Right. It's not. You've got to it takes different characters to make the job work. Mm-hmm. You've got to care enough, but you've got to be able to separate yourself where you do care for the person and you're going to send them help, but you don't care where you're getting involved and you're crying with them. You know
right, right. So you don't need to get emotionally involved,
right?
But you're
mentally involved.
Absolutely, and you're staying on task to make sure that case is handled effectively.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
What has been something that's been so memorable that's been kind of hard for you to shake? You know, within your 9 years, you've had so many different cases. Some probably, light, of course.
He was probably about the worst one, mm-hmm. because I won't ever forget her scream. You could hear the pain in her scream. I won't ever forget that.
Yeah,
but that's just something you got to keep going,
Absolutely.
And then you have calls where, like, a woman called about her kid was missing, and so she's all stressed out, and they found the kid asleep in the closet. So you have those rewarding calls that make up for it.
Absolutely. So when you're away from the job, what do you do, Becca, to relax?
I am a boring person. I sit around the fire. I sit around the fire. Mm-hmm. I used to ride around before gas prices got so high.
But you relax.
Yeah. We watch movies at the house. We play board games sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm a boring person.
But no,
I used to go out and party and stuff. But
yeah. but that's good to still be able to be around your family. To be in a safe environment and to just relax so that you can kind of deprogram against some of the things that you have to experience here at work.
Some days, whenever you go home, you thank God that you still got your family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right. And we're thankful for people like you.
Oh, thank you.
This is Becca, everyone.
Hey, Mom!
And we are here with the shift supervisor, Miss Vicki Hall. Hey, Vicki.
Hey.
Now, Vicki, we want to talk about you and talk about your job of what you do in this supervisory role. Are you ready?
I'm going to be.
Talk to us.
I do the same thing everybody else does. I answer the phones, I dispatch the radios, I talk to everybody, I handle complaints if any come in, I do some everything.
And how long have you been doing this position? And did you start off as a dispatcher before?
I did, and I've been here for 12 years.
For 12 years. Now, what has changed through the years? Because when my sister Dorothy, she was a supervisor here, and back then they wore Class A uniforms.
That's right.
Everything was starched and crisped and such strict rules as far as dress. So tell us about some of the changes that have taken place through the years.
We've had a lot of changes. We've kind of gone back to a more laid-back dress code now just because we have to stay in here for 12 hours at the time. Mm-hmm. It's a long shift, so they try to make us as comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. What about the computerization of things? What's changed with your system?
Everything. Everything we do is on the computer now. We don't have anything that's not a computer, anything now. The phones are on the computer, the radios are on the computer. Everything we do is on the computer now.
And how and tell us about when someone's trained to learn how to use this equipment. Does that take some time?
It does, and it depends on the person. Everybody trains differently.
And being a multitasker now, I see a lot of females in this room. A lot of females, but you do have a male dispatcher.
He's a supervisor on the other rotation. But prominently we have females. We don't have a lot of men that come out. Most men want to do the public safety part of it versus the phone part of it.
Correct. And your husband's part of that public safety part. Tell us about
AirVac. He's a paramedic with AirVac.
So you two are kind of like, you partner together because one job does, feed off the other.
Right.
As far as really helping the community. Now, we want to do a little scenario.
Okay.
With me as a dispatcher. Okay, to see if I can handle it. So you've been working on a scenario for me.
I have.
Make sure it's one that I can handle.
You can handle this one.
And so when you're training someone in this position, do you have certain scenarios that you have to kind of check to see how they're able to handle that given situation?
We do, but it works out better most of the time hands-on.
To just put them
and listen. We hook up with them and listen to them so we can help them and
talk them through it. So you're going to have to talk me through this.
I will.
Are you ready?
I am if you are.
We'll see. So we're now about to do a simulation where they have a caller that's going to call in, and I'm going to simulate what a 911 dispatcher would actually say given that situation. Keep in mind, this is my first time, okay? So, here goes. Now, I see all of these different screens, and you're constantly looking at these screens,
That's
correct?
Right.
My goodness. Okay. Okay.
Okay. When it rings, you're going to answer right here.
I touch that?
That's right.
With my finger?
No, you touch it with the mouse. You move the mouse over there and click it.
Oh. Is that me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. 911, do you have an emergency?
Yes, my dad was outside cutting grass, and he came inside, and he grabbed his chest, and he hit the floor. I need to get an ambulance.
What is your address, ma'am?
5432 Highway 257.
5432 Highway 257?
Yes, ma'am.
And the phone number
hurry, can you hurry? Get somebody here.
Yes, we will. What is the phone number that you can be reached?
478-353-1217.
478-352-1217. Okay, and what's the problem, ma'am?
Yes, can you hurry?
Ma'am, yes. What is the problem?
He was outside cutting grass. I've already told you. He was cutting grass, and he came inside, he grabbed his chest and fell on the floor.
Okay, he grabbed his chest. How old is the patient?
He's 62.
62 years old. Is he breathing normally?
I'm not sure, ma'am. Just get somebody here.
Ma'am, we will get someone there. Is he breathing normally?
Yes, ma'am.
He is. Very good. Is the patient conscious?
He is, but he's not talking to me.
He's not talking with you. Does he have any other medical history that you can share with us?
Yes, he's had 3 heart attacks.
3 heart attacks. Okay, and their house description. Could you give us the house description?
It's a blue. Why does it matter? Just get somebody here.
Ma'am, we're going to get someone there. We just need to have a description of the house so that we can.
Okay, it's a blue house with white trim.
A blue house with white trim.
Yes, ma'am. He's starting to come around now.
Very good. If anything changes, the units are on the way. Please call back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now that I have taken that 911 call, I'm now about to be evaluated by the supervisor so that she can give me some pointers on what I could have done differently to make sure that I was very effective in what I was doing and handling that. Okay.
You did very good, but we would tell them that units were already on the way from the beginning and reassure them throughout the call that they were on the way rather than telling them that we would get them on the way. Just because we usually are already in the process of dispatching by the time the call gets put in the computer.
So as I was talking, you would have been punching things in and
right.
Contacting the available units and making that type of assessment.
Right.
I was a little nervous. I mean, I'm just being honest with you because when you get that call, even though, and I'm sure you've had some that are even more intense, but I still was kind of nervous, wanting to make sure that I was saying the right things, that I was hearing her clearly, because I was really trying to concentrate to hear her, and I knew that I needed to have a calm voice because even though she was a little bit elevated, and so
it's always good to keep everybody calm.
Yes, but on the inside, I was like this. I'm being honest.
You handled it well, though.
I was like this, and so you're constantly doing things. So you would have I should have. Should I have kept her on the line?
You could have. Normally we probably would have, at least until he come around.
And so if I would have kept her on the line, we would have constantly been talking and
checking the status of the patient.
Wow. So how long can a call last sometimes?
Sometimes we're on the phone with them until the appropriate people get there.
Wow. What's the longest you've been on a call?
15, 17 minutes.
15
depending
to
on where they're at
minutes.
in the county.
And how intense that could be. Wow. Kudos to you guys because this is not easy. This is not easy. And I'm thankful that I was able to do this, and we're so glad that we were able to present that to you all to kind of see just a little bit of a scenario of what you all do from just one call. Very good. Thank you. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with Candace, the training supervisor, and also the administrative assistant, Joy. Ladies, this has been a wonderful experience. I mean, to be able to go back there to kind of find out what the dispatchers do, and that scenario for me, it was a little nerve-wracking, just that little piece, and that's only a piece of what you all do.
Yes, usually, we'll answer that call right there. And sometimes we have radio traffic too. So you're answering that call, putting that call in, and answering your radio all at the same time.
That's where that multitasking comes into play.
That's where the multitasking comes into play. And we also, when we have the firefighters, we do more things to just dispatch for emergency calls.
Tell us about that.
Well, we call trees down. We have to, and they're on the power line, and power's out. We have to call the power company.
Wow.
Yes, and that's just, and
we have to call wreckers. We have to call Georgia State Patrol to assist in traffic stops. We have to call the Department of Transportation if there's bad stuff on the interstate that's going on. We have to get in touch with the Department of Natural Resources if there's been, let's just say, a hunting accident, and they need to be involved in it as well. So we're reaching out to other agencies within the county or within the state to get the equipment that we need to get things situated, like a cleanup site. If there's a bad wreck on I-16, there could be multiple people involved. Anything from rural fire to Sheriff's Department to Georgia State Patrol to Department of Transportation. To
agricultural. If it's poultry, we have to call the agriculture department.
So there's just a plethora of outside things that you're doing that you can't see that aren't just, that's just not pertain to dispatching. And like she says, we're working multiple radios. So keep in mind that there's going to be more than one medical call at a time.
Absolutely.
So there could be multiple ambulances going out, or we may not even have an ambulance available. There could be multiple domestics going on at one time, so there may not be an officer available. Multiple wrecks.
And we EMD calls. So with the EMD call, that'll type a line.
And what is that acronym?
That's Emergency Medical Dispatch. And if somebody, we'll walk them through what to do. And another thing is the officers, they cannot see what we're all doing. So we could be tied up doing 100 things.
Right.
But we also have to help them. We can't tell them to hold on. We can. So we have. We can't. I can see that go off well.
Right.
So we have to tell them, go ahead. We have to run their name and date of birth. We have to run their tag that they need. And another thing is we have, if they're wanted or something, we have to send we send hits, which to other agencies as if they want them to pick them up. So we do everything.
So that's why this is definitely the communication center, because it's all encompassing.
That's right.
Yes,
and the big thing, teamwork. We have to have each other. We cannot do this by ourselves. It takes the whole team to do it.
And you all are such a great team. Just in this time that we've interacted with you all, it has been fabulous.
Great.
And we certainly appreciate everything that you all do.
Thank you.
And in the midst of the high stress level that the dispatchers and what you all have to combat, you are doing a job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve Lawrence County. We're here to serve the public. So that's what we get paid to do. We enjoy it. This job is not for everybody. It's a few and far between. We are the unseen, but we are heard. Wow. And that's our main point. We are heard.
Absolutely, and we're gonna end it at that. That was so beautiful. All right, well, that's all the time we have here for Real Talk. We are so thankful for the men and women that are working here at 911 Communication Center, and we appreciate everything that they do. Thank you all so much for watching Real Talk, and please keep watching. Now, Becca, you wanted to give a shout out though before we.
Yes, to my babies. Hey, Chloe and Riley, I love you.
Look at that. Mama loves her babies.